All right, episode 3. These are going to be weekly. I know the first two came out very close together because I failed to upload the first one and had to create a new channel. And as I talked about last time. So this time this is let's see, what day is this? This is Monday, March 23rd. Yeah, March 23rd. So this is March 23rd. I am currently heading towards home. I had to come out to all the way down to Federal Way. I had a ride from Issaquah to Federal Way, which is kind of a long ride, and now I'm deadheading back. So I'm going back empty. I probably should be down here trying to find rides down here, but I just don't know the area. So I don't like to drive around in areas that I'm not familiar with very much. So my preferred way when I have to go a long ways away from Redmond, Kirkland, Issaquah is to just turn around and head back. I know that it wastes, used to waste gasoline, and now it's wasting my power bank and my EV, but that's the way it is. Hey, speaking of cars, so let's talk gear for a little bit. In this case, the gear being the car. So my gear for rideshare driving is a Nissan Ariya. I just got it about 6 months ago or so. It's a Nissan Ariya. It's a what they call Evolve Plus. It's all black, all electric, front wheel drive. It has probably about fully charged. It says it has about 300 miles range. I don't think it has a full 300 mile range really, but maybe pretty close to that when it's fully charged. Now, generally we only charge up to like 80 or 95%, so a little under 300 miles. That's pretty good for the day. Usually I don't have to charge it. Right now it says I have 50% left on the battery. It's 2:07 in the afternoon. I'll probably be able to work my full day, pull in at 5, and be fully charged. I mean, I'm not fully charged, but have enough charge. Won't get too low. And so probably that'll be okay. And it's plenty for driving all day. So people talk about, well, what are you going to do about if you don't have a charger nearby? I charge at home overnight. It's fine. There are chargers. What happens is you get to know where they are. Right now, I know that if I were lower, if I really had to, there's a charging station in near the South Center Mall, which is in Tukwila, and so I could go there if I needed to. I could go all the way back to Issaquah. There's a place right outside the one of the Starbucks there that I can charge, and it works fine. It works fine. So let's see. Right now, I'm trying to get back on the freeway. I'm going to come down here to the Kent Des Moines Road. Is this the Kent Des Moines Road? I believe this might be the Kent Des Moines Road. So I am going to try to get on the freeway from here. Should be able to. Yeah, it looks like there's a freeway entrance right there to get on I-5 heading north towards Seattle. So just to give you a kind of a point of reference where I'm at right now, I am just south of the SeaTac, the Seattle-Tacoma Airport, which is just south of Seattle. I'll get up here to the I-405. So take 405 on through to Issaquah, at least, maybe. Might go to Bellevue. I don't know. I have right now I have the course plotted for Issaquah or even South Bellevue, but it doesn't really matter that much. Once I get down into familiar grounds, I'll turn the I'll turn the meter back on. But speaking of South Center, it was a couple weeks ago. Maybe it was a couple weeks ago. This reminded me to, a public service announcement. Hey, when you come to an intersection and you want to make a left-hand turn and you have one of those yellow flashing arrow indicators saying that you can make a left-hand turn there, it's flashing. That means you got to wait for the traffic to clear, oncoming traffic to clear, because if you don't, you might find yourself in an accident. And I witnessed one. I was getting onto the freeway and some lady thought she had the right of way, I guess. It was clearly I had a green light, so she must have had a flashing yellow at the very, if it wasn't red. She came through, I stopped. The lady behind me did not stop, as she didn't need to because she had a totally green light, and she T-boned, and it looks just like this. Okay, I got that on my dash cam. I sent it off to Wham Bam Dash Cam. Shout out to Wham Bam Dash Cam. I'd like to get around this U-Haul truck that's taking up this space. I just traded it for another slow. Anyway, so that was the little public service announcement I wanted to give everybody. I know you would think that everybody knows that. I know I'm going to get if anybody's watching this and they put comments down below saying that's obvious, everybody knows that. I'm here to tell you everybody does not know that. I see it happening all the time. People just plowing through these flashing yellows, causing other folks to slam on their brakes. I don't know what people are thinking. I don't know if this is being taught in schools that that's a non-protected left-hand turn. You can turn, but you shouldn't if it's flashing and there's oncoming traffic. So don't do it. End of public service announcement. So what else is going on that I could talk about? So that you might, if you watch the first episode, you'll see that it's kind of a no edit. I think it's completely no edit. There might have been one or two, but the next one I had more edits. I popped in more pictures and video over as B-roll. So if you don't know, I guess everybody just says like that everybody knows. If you make videos, you have your main, I guess it's called A-roll. I don't even know that, but it's the main flow of the video. And then you'll see, as somebody's describing something like I did, you'll describe it, and then a video will pop up, like I just did actually. Well, I plan to. It's not there yet, but I will put it up there. About the T-bone crash I'm talking about. And that's called B-roll. So that can be this just, it could just be pictures of flowers. It can be like a view from a park or a waterfall or something like that as you're describing it. So any time that the narration goes somewhere that I have some stock video of, or some video that has maybe featured in one of my other channels, I can edit that in. I even have on the other channels I use music, but we're limited to one channel, and I'm going to continue to use the music on the travel channel for now. So I'll just leave this as pretty bare bones. So right now I'm getting on Bellevue, northbound Bellevue, northbound Interstate 405 heading towards Bellevue. And so we're just gonna, every once in a while, I gotta keep my eyes on the road. So about this car, I would say the most I've enjoyed the car. I do like driving an electric car. There's instant torque. I used to think my hybrid had instant torque, and that's nothing compared to an electric. The motors, they just go. It's not intended to be a high performance car, but just by nature of the fact that you're using electric motors, it's a bit high performance. And if you're not careful, you don't have it on the right mode, it can really be sporty. Speaking of sporty, come on, let's get around these guys. All right. Anyway, the most interesting thing that I got to say, that with the riders that I get, the most frequent comment I get about the car, other than just it's clean, because to keep a clean car, the most commented part of the car is my rear view mirror. Maybe I'll poke a shot of it in there, but it basically is one of those cameras. It's a rear viewing camera that's coming through, and I know they sell these aftermarket. You can buy them at various car appliance stores like Car Toys or something like that, and it's like it's just a video. It's 4K video. I can see everything that it's got a very wide angled view around out the back, so you can kind of see everything. Now, the one thing that I had to get used to was when I'm doing conversations with folks in the car, when I'm carrying on a conversation with folks in the car, I'm trying to make eye contact in the rearview mirror. Well, I can't see them. I can't see them in my mirror. They're not there. So that took about a month and a half to really get used to that I'm not going to be able to make eye contact with those folks. I have to keep my eyes on the road. Okay, all right, that joke's going to get old. Oops, maybe it already is. For the 405, we call it 405. 405 is going through a lot of construction, and so it always means, what that always means is that I'm going to have a longer time getting back to my area of opportunity, and so that's the way it is. But today, not too bad. Moving relatively quickly. You do not. That person almost did. All right, here we go, and now we're stopping. So I have a dash cam, and it would be really great if I could sync up some of the what's going on while I'm driving with the front view of the dash cam, but it's kind of complicated. It's just maybe I just need I just need a bigger card or something, so that so I can hold more video, because after the dash cam loops back through and overwrites the previous stuff, and I don't know if it can keep even a whole day. So I might have to look and see if I can just get a bigger SD card and put in there, so it'll keep more, so I can actually use some of that footage for the front as well. Got a front and rear and inside the car camera. When you're driving RideShare, it's good to have all three of those, because people can say things, people are unscrupulous, and there's a couple of scams that are out there. Some of the drivers are unscrupulous too, so you got to watch out for that. But the couple of the scams that are out there, or have been out there, one is just that they'll just complain to Uber or Lyft about that you made some inappropriate comments. Well, have the video. I mean, it makes it a little bit more difficult when it's constantly being overwritten, and who knows, might be a week later that you might get a notice and then the video's gone. Might be I just have to put in. Anyway, it hasn't been a problem for me at this point. But there are other things that could happen. So having a camera or even just having a camera that is recording inside the cabin of the car actually can enforce good behavior just by itself. So the other thing is to know about unscrupulous people is there's a scam going on that I've heard about with drivers, where the driver will not show up to pick you up, drive the route, and get paid for it, like say just deliver you, but never find. I don't know how they think they're going to get away with this, but so apparently it's been a thing that's happened, and so I don't know if it's rampant or whatever, but I don't know why you'd drive without picking up the passenger. It doesn't make any sense. I don't know what you gain from it, because you're going to get money and you cheat yourself out of a possibility of a tip. All right, dumb. Some of these people are not the smartest tools in the shed. Okay. Anyway, so the way to solve that problem is to set up a PIN. If you set up a PIN code in your app, every time you get in, the driver is going to have to punch in the PIN for you to drive, which is, it takes no time. It's your PIN. It can be a 4-digit PIN. It can be easy to remember, and that just shows that they can't even start the drive without the PIN. So that's one way of keeping up with that. So at any rate, I'm going to go off here for a little bit. The traffic is getting a little bit hairy, and that needs a little bit more concentration. So going off now. So I'm just going to finish off this video. I had plans on finishing it up during the regular week, but I didn't. Now it's Saturday, my day off, so I'm not dressed in the same manner, which is whatever. I know a lot of Uber and Lyft drivers just kind of wear street clothes like this, just normal, and they don't try to dress up at all and look the part, whatever the part is. And maybe the part is actually not dressing up. I don't know. At any rate, so I'm just going to put some finishing touches on this weekly video. I don't think this video covered that much, but there was one thing I wanted to mention, and it's been bugging me, and it's something that every once in a while this is going to dip into politics, and here we go. When I was a kid, I paid really close attention to the news, and one of those events that was going on was the Iran-Iraq war, and any U.S. involvement in it at all. Usually, we were trying to play both sides. It was Cold War time, so there were times when we were friends with Saddam, and there were times when we were, obviously because of the selling weapons to Iran, that we had to get close to Iran for that, right? So we sold them weapons. We then used that money to fund the Contras that were fighting against actually an elected but communist system in Nicaragua. And so anyway, so we were not great on that. But one thing that just kind of struck out to me is that, even as a kid back then, and then later on during the tanker wars, later on during the tanker wars in the Persian Gulf, even back then as a kid, I knew that the one leverage that Iran had was the Strait of Hormuz. I knew. Now, yeah, okay, I was a little bit more plugged into politics than your average, kid, but still, I was a kid, or I was a young adult during the tanker wars, and so we knew what was going on. We knew that someone with a speedboat and an RPG rocket propelled grenade. We knew that one of those boats could stop a tanker. We knew that Lloyd's of London didn't want to insure those tankers going through the Strait of Hormuz, so that had the potential to cripple the world's oil supply. And when I say cripple, I mean, shutting it down 20% for the U.S. and I think we knew at the time it wasn't just gasoline that was going to be impacted, and it wasn't just the United States, and that the oil, everybody knew. Maybe I didn't as a kid, but I certainly know now that the oil is traded on a global basis, and it's a commodity, and so because money is fungible. So you think, well, we're not reliant on the oil that goes through the Strait of Hormuz. Yeah, okay, we're not, but that price is factored into the global prices. So when the oil prices go up, we hurt. Now, gas prices, I'm not currently impacted because I'm driving an electric car, but all the food, diesel prices are skyrocketing. So all the food, all the stuff gets delivered on the backs of semi trucks that run on diesel. Those prices go up, those prices cascade down until it hits the consumer. So all of our prices are going up. That's the way it goes. And it's not magic. It's not a secret. Everybody knew. So if they didn't know, they're criminally incompetent. So because a kid could know, like a high school kid could know, a high school with just a basic grasp of world politics, like just basic. At any rate, I'm going to keep my eyes on the road right now. So keep your eyes on the road.